whatever. Let's get started. Yo. We pray you win this. Yeah, me too. But I think on that topic, it depends on what you mean by winning. I think I have some thoughts on that. And I'm going to go off of some questions my friend just asked me regarding streaming and playing League of Legends and how deep my relationship is with the game itself in relation to myself too. Like, how deep do I go? How deep is my internal world, and does that reflect onto my behavior in the game? So I think it would be better if I just repeated what he asked. He said, I have a bothering question to ask you. I wanted to ask you something that's been on my mind as someone who's watched a few of your games. In League of Legends, we often talk about mechanics, macro and decision making as separate things. But at the highest level of consistency, it feels like something deeper is at play. It's almost like a form of embodied philosophy, where your gameplay reflects how you see risk, ego, adaptation, and chaos. That's right. When you are in a high-pressure solo queue session or a difficult ranked climb, do you consciously treat the game as a mirror for personal growth? What I mean is, does losing a game because of your own over-aggression teach you something about humility in real life? Or when you pull off a crazy outplay, does that moment feel more like artistic expression than just winning lane? And since I brought the idea of starting with clips and shorts on YouTube, how do you see us translating that deeper layer? Not just the mechanical highlights, but the mindset shifts, emotional journey, and long-term thinking into the videos we're putting together. So, my response to that will take us back a little bit further, because I've played this game for on and off for 10 years plus, maybe longer. And I've had my own journey with this game. That's actually why I've decided to play this game again. I stopped playing games as a result of my own evolution. I needed a hard reset in life. I felt like games were an obstacle to my growth, and so I removed that obstacle, and I found a lot of relief and joy from that. However, once I found discipline in my life and purpose, the purpose that gives you a reason why you want to be disciplined, then I actually found the game calling back to me because of the growth I experienced through the game itself. I experienced a level of mastery I had never experienced in my life with something that I wanted to be good at. So at the time that I was playing this game most seriously, I was also flying. I was flying on UAVs for Air Force Special Operations. And that was something that I did choose to do, but I was not enjoying it while I did it. And I don't think anyone was. Anyone who says they were is covering up. They're lying to themselves and everyone around them to avoid their own pain. The truth that they're trying to avoid. But let's leave that alone for now. I was living a double life where in one world I was mastering real life missions that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be a part of it, but I had agreed to a huge commitment. And at such an intense level that it's in your best interest to just keep up. Don't fall behind. Don't make mistakes. Or at least if you're going to make mistakes, do it in training. Because anyone who makes mistakes pays for it. And if the system doesn't, if the system isn't happy with you, it rejects you. If it rejects you, then it punishes you with a mark on your career, on your history. And I think that it's ruling by fear. That's not a fun situation to be in. That was one life. Now, in the other life, I would finish those missions and I'd come home and I'd play League of Legends, which was also intense, but it carried the same energy from the intensity that I was doing in these real life missions over to competition. But it was a game where you're not actually killing people. A lot of people thought that, oh wow, you're flying drones, so that must be like playing a video game. No. it was never like that. And I would usually smile and nod because I didn't know how to tell people the truth. Now I do. The truth is, it was not a game. I got to go home and play a game to relieve myself of the real shit that I was doing. That wasn't cool. It wasn't. So in this game, League of Legends, here we are. I'm choosing to stream it. The reason I'm choosing to stream it is because it was something that I wanted to do. It was something that felt good. I was finding results in the game. And that has an effect on you as a person outside of the game. You're linked in to this game, and it's affecting your physiology. And you're riding the emotional roller coaster of this game. And to beat the competition at a most consistent level, you got to find out how to ride that wave without letting it ride you. What that means is, when you are playing this game, there are ups and downs constantly. There's so much to keep track of. It's so easy to make one tiny miscalculation, lose awareness on a really large, a very important part of the game, perhaps like the mini-map, or keeping consistent tabs on where different players might be, listening to the pings, or if you're not muted on chat, reading what people have to say, all while managing your gold intake with last hitting, and also the constant pressure of your rival opponent on your lane. let's say top lane, you're at the top of the map, and you're doing a dance with this person, and there's all these little elements that you're juggling. And if you let one mistake damper the mood, you carry that emotion throughout the rest of the game. And it's going to affect every single behavior within you in the game. And we call it tilt. And the less you can tilt, the better your results are going to be, the more consistent you're going to be. And there's all sorts of ways to achieve that, but at the end of the day, it is really just a result of your ability to find peace within yourself. Enjoying the game is one way, and we can go deeper into that. You might not like the character you're playing. You need to find the character that fits you at the time that you're playing. There are over 100 characters. You have so many choices. It's important to find something that excites you, that you're curious about, and then play it enough to understand the flow of that character. And then once you understand the flow of the character, then you can begin to experiment with the mastery that you found within that character versus other characters. And then once you discover how to play against other characters, because you've done it enough times, you'll start to notice, you'll get to a deeper dimension of play where you start to notice the variations in how different people play that character. So even if it's the same character that has a similar flow, people play characters differently. And sometimes they change too. So if you play with the same person over and over again, they might find different ways to play that same character. And that is actually the gameplay that I like to encourage. That is creative. It is off meta. It is thinking outside the box. If you can make something that shouldn't work for you, then that's the perception that people are going to be blinded by when you're playing against them. And if you know it well enough, if you know how to make it work, you can use that blinder, that assumption, that conclusion that people have come to within their minds about something. You can use that against them. And if you practice that phenomenon, you can just rank up over and over and over again. Because you just made it click. You clicked. You just figured it out. So there's all these dimensions of mastery within League of Legends. And it is a reflection of life. On a very small, tiny scale. Life is so much more infinite. There's so many things you can do with it. But it's the same thing. If you don't know what you're doing in your life, you don't feel like you're a success, you're having difficulty choosing what you want to do, you're not alone. But maybe you need someone to tell you that it's not worth staying there forever. So it's better to choose and regret the choice you made and pivot to a better choice than to not make the choice ever and stay stuck. It's better just to experience the wrong decision and let go of that as just, hey, that was an experimental path. Now on to the next thing. And you can take all the lessons you've learned from that mistake, because a mistake isn't a bad thing. It is crucial information that helps build the architecture of a life well lived. You have to find out what you don't want to do. And you have to find that out firsthand. And you have to make wrong decisions to get there. That's the only way you can find out what's right. Right for you. Right for everyone else. At the same time, so you can create harmony together and flow beautifully in this cosmos. So as you can tell, I learned a lot from League of Legends. If you're really, if you're really wondering. And what happened? I was slowly climbing in the beginning of my League of Legends career from silver. I don't think I was ever bronze. I mean, when you start the game, you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, technically everyone's bronze at the beginning. You're going from bronze to silver. Silver, you start to understand the characters you're playing, the map, some of the macro strategies, and steadily went to gold. And I felt like I started to push past my friend group, and I played more and more by myself. And I did a lot of training in the sandbox mode just to practice mechanics. And I think I fell into platinum pretty easily. This was before emerald existed too, so it was just platinum then diamond. So diamond actually felt very out of reach for someone who hit platinum 5. It felt like, oh wow, like, platinum, I did it. I really got out. I feel like that's next level. And diamond felt out of reach, like mythic, challenger, impossible. But I think I had practiced so much and wanted it so bad, and I really started to take it seriously. And I started to notice my emotions getting in the way of being consistent, especially when I played with my friends. When we'd lose a game, I would take out my frustration out on them, and I don't think I ever apologized. And life carried on fine. They were still my friends, and there were times that they got upset. So I don't think anyone ever took it personally, but it was totally unnecessary. And when I was able to let go of that, how serious the game had to be, I actually got better at the game. The game became more serious in a way. Letting go of your attachment to an outcome opened up a whole world of possibilities in this game. And I realized it's not about, you have no control over other players, so let go of that. There's no point in being emotional about what other people are doing. If you want to say something to them, say something to them, but do it in a way that's productive. Otherwise, you are wasting your time, and that's on you. That's you. You're the problem. You're the problem. You are your own problem. I am my own problem. So I stopped messing around with other people. I would be encouraging, type to people, hey guys, we got this, blah blah blah. Here's a suggestion, like this guy's getting fed right now, and so be careful of him. You're not mad at anyone. You're just giving vital information, letting other people decide what they want to do with that. And what I found is no one can get mad at that. No, other people don't rage at you for saying something polite and generous. You don't even have to say anything. Actually, these days, I just mute the whole chat. People ping. You can get in your zone. I might open up chat at some point, but I'm still trying to relearn the game at this point. Back then, I was on a tear. I went from Plat 4 to Diamond 4 within, it felt like a month. Less, maybe. I mean, I think I was getting Platinum 3, and then in like 2 weeks, probably. I went from Plat 3 to Diamond 4. And I was in my series to get to Diamond 3. And and I was getting, my ego came in, and I got a little reckless with my behavior. And then when I lost my series, it was my first series to get up there, so I gave up after that. And I allowed myself to give up at the time, totally justified, because I had remembered something, an inner thought that I had come to, that I agreed to. It was a contract that I made with myself, and I am all about inner contracts. I remember wondering, why am I putting so much time and effort into this game? I started to feel like, is this worth my time? Like, what am I trying to accomplish here? And inside myself, I knew, well, what I really want is diamond. There's something about that I've always wanted. I always thought it was really cool. I always watched videos of top level players and what it looked like to accomplish some of these elite plays. And I wanted that. I wanted to experience that, and I did. I actually got to experience that before I even got to Diamond 4. I knew that I was at an elite level with some of my plays. It just wasn't consistent enough across all skills needed to be able to reach Diamond easily. And eventually I figured it out. I didn't do it in the most organized way, but just by virtue of wanting it, I still achieved it. And that's magic. That's what I'm here to talk about. It's what I'm here to play this game for. To show. It's not to find out anymore. I already believe in the magic. Now it's all about showing the magic. So before, I haphazardly found success in League of Legends, and it wasn't even at the highest level. It's just hitting Diamond is an achievement that most people never will get. They don't have the time or the will to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. They're finding their own success everywhere else, because this game is just a little tiny piece of real life, but it can be a big part of your life too. And it's your choice. If it brings vitality and beauty to your world, then do it. But there is a reflection in everything that you do. And so whatever it is you do, if it's League of Legends, yes, everything you're doing in this game is a reflection of who you are as a person. Just closing the windows real quick. It's windy and cold. So, here I am now. What's different now? Why did I come back? Why am I streaming now? What do I want to achieve? Instead of what do I want to show people, maybe I shouldn't care about that right now. Maybe I should talk about what is it that I want to do? What do I want to experience right now? Because I'm finding more and more that I am not playing League of Legends on my own time away from streaming. I tried too. I tried last night. I was going to get on and see, oh, let's have a little fun. And I just don't associate League of Legends with fun anymore by myself. It's just not, I'm past that. I did that. I had a friend group. We had the best times. And I still enjoy playing with my friend from Texas that I used to work with. But he's streamed too, and he's really fun to have on stream. And the whole point of what I'm doing now is to stream. I found success by myself. Now I want to do that. I want to recreate that success again by my own will, my own design. So before it was a subconscious desire. Oh, diamond. Oh, diamond. Diamond. And then I did get it. And it was like a revelation. It was a realization. Oh my gosh, things are possible. I didn't know that's a thing. It actually I wasn't even sure that was real. Am I just believe? Was it an illusion? Trick of the mind? And maybe you'll never know. But I found so much success by my own will, beyond the game, that now I want to bring it full circle back to viewership. I want to show people, hey, you know, subconscious or not, you're already successful. You are creating the world constantly. How about you watch someone who already believes in that power of creation do it live, right? Yes, I'll make mistakes. Yes, I'll lose my temper at times. And yes, I'll bring back awareness to whatever temper there is, or bad mood, or overexcitement, or egotistical attachment, and reintegrate a new version of myself every time we consciously, I consciously learn lessons associated with what I'm experiencing, and we do it together. So let's see, how much did I answer these questions, my friend? It's almost like a form of embodied philosophy where your gameplay reflects how you see risk, ego, adaptation, and chaos. Let's talk about risk in this game. One of my gameplay styles is, I got to a point, what helped me get to the next level was just not caring about messing up. I wanted to play troll comps. I wanted to play characters where they weren't supposed to be played according to other people's opinions. I stopped caring about other people's opinions. I wanted to play the game my way. And if I died 20 times, no kills, it was a disaster. If I was playing with friends, it was fun. If I was doing what I wanted to do, it was fun. And the more I just messed around, the better I got at these characters, because I limit tested so much. I put myself in the hardest, worst situations and really learned how to make those situations work for me if I could. And then if you take that character and put them in a situation where they have an advantage, then you're like Super Saiyan. Yeah. So risk. This is a video game. Take risks. Die. Mess up. Don't beat yourself up. This is the perfect. It's practice for real life. Taking risks, being willing to accept the loss when those risks don't play out correctly. That is necessary for your highest attainment and in life. Ego, I don't even want to talk about ego. Everyone has an ego. Ego helps you feed yourself. It helps you operate in the world as an individual. But your ego is not, it doesn't have to be stagnant. The whole point of a healthy ego is to surrender to a higher power. Like when I talked about being harmonious with the world, harmonious within yourself and with the world, that is a result of you surrendering the elements of your ego that aren't working for you and reintegrating information from lessons learned to create a stronger, healthier, wiser ego. Same thing happens in the game. When you're in a high-pressure solo queue session or a difficult ranked climb, do you consciously treat the game as a mirror for personal growth? I didn't before, but that's what we're doing now. That's the point, to do it on stream. So we can, and why are we doing that? Why am I doing that? Why do I want other people to see me doing that? I want to practice doing it for me. I want to practice organizing my mind, organizing my efforts, and aiming for results. And when you align all those elements, you can measure how quickly, how effectively you're growing with the energy that you're spending. And you can grow faster. And when I say faster, it's not a race. It's merely a reward for what you sowed. You reap what you sow. I've sowed a lot of bad seeds and I've reaped that for too many years. And I went all in on sowing bad seeds for a few years. And the lessons from that taught me maybe I should pay attention to the type of seeds that I'm sowing for the rest of my life. Because I don't want to go through that again. I want to grow what I want to grow. When I want to grow it, how I want to grow it. And if that means that I don't want to stream anymore, I'll turn it off. That's what happened when I hit Diamond. My ultimate goal for League of Legends was, hey, I really want to hit Diamond. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when I actually get Diamond? I couldn't find a vision within myself for what I was gonna do beyond that. So the contract that I created within myself was, I'm gonna let go of the game. I couldn't find any other way. So it brought me back into real life. Real life was never gone. It was just a connection to this game, this video game. I want Diamond. Once I lost that series in Diamond 4 to get to Diamond 3, and then it hit me. Wait, I'm getting frustrated over this game again. I got cocky. I know I did. I'm not upset that I got cocky and lost this series. That was definitely my fault. I had gotten to a level of mastery so consistently up until that point where I could tell I was winning every game. Even if we didn't win the game, I had won lane. I knew it. My opponent knew it. My team knew it. People were reflecting that back to me. That was the reflection of the game back onto me for what I had achieved within myself. And I saw it within a short period of time. And then my ego took control and I messed up and I got frustrated. And then it all occurred to me, oh, I won the game. I won the game. I had agreed within myself. I agreed to believe that, hey, most video games have an ending. This one doesn't. I don't like the fact that this one doesn't have an ending because I don't want to be stuck playing this game for the rest of my life aimlessly with no goals in mind, with no variety in my life. I want zest. If this game gives you zest, do it. If it loses the zest, get out of here. Go outside. I don't think the sun, the warm sun, ever loses its zest in this life. So if you ever don't know what to do, just go outside and sit in the sun for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and breathe in. Really enjoy it. And listen to the rustle of the leaves. Hopefully, if you're around some leaves. So, I'm at a point where the game isn't too important to me. What's important is practicing growth. So you can do it in a video game. You can do it in any other hobby you have. You can do it at work. I recommend you do it all of the time. But if you're having difficulty picking something, pick what feels most important. I think for most people, the most important thing is your source of income. You want to get good at that. Make sure that you're good. Make sure your physical survival is assured. Save up an emergency fund. Become invaluable with what you do that brings in money, so you're not so disposable. And if you create value as a human being and you save money, then the odds are in your favor. You're good to go. You can worry less about mastering work and then start mastering hobbies that you really like, because that's how you can transition from something that isn't the most interesting thing in your life, but it brings in money, and perhaps transition to a hobby that excites you, that you want to explore monetarily, and find out what that feels like. Find out if you can do it, or how difficult it would be to actually make it happen. Don't even accept the possibility that it won't happen. Just figure out how difficult it will be, and then keep aiming at that. No matter how hard it is, just keep tackling the feeling of difficulty, because it really isn't. Nothing is really all that difficult in this world. You already experience full difficulty. The nature of anxiety makes it real. So everyone knows how hard life can really be. No one is exempt from that. However, if you feel like your work is good to go, or you just don't want to master it, that's up to you. If you want to master this game, we can master it together. You can watch me identify the things that are holding me back and really elevate my gameplay consciously. Oh, and then the last thing. I'm going to reread my friend's last part of the question. When you're in a high-pressure solo queue session or a difficult ranked climb, do you consciously treat the game as a mirror for personal growth? What I mean is, does losing a game because of your own over-aggression teach you something about humility in real life? Yeah, it does. Or, he says, when you pull off a crazy outplay, does that moment feel more like artistic expression than just winning lane? Yeah. That, my friend, that. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's right. That's the fucking, excuse my language. That's it. That's the stuff. When you get so good at something, is it all about winning? Or what is it really about? What feels best here? Why does winning feel good? Why does an outplay feel good? But he actually said it perfectly himself. I don't even have to answer that. I just have to affirm that he's correct. It is an artistic expression of your growth. The more calculated, or when you're operating on impulse in this game, but you've played with so much experience, so much integration of lessons, where the impulse as you're playing this game allows you to outplay other people consistently. It feels like flying. It feels like you are one with yourself. It's zen. and you can experience this. You could find this feeling of flow everywhere in life. I found it in driving on the freeway, weaving in and out of people, but doing it in a way that's so graceful because you have a sports car that can do it, where people don't feel like you're putting them in a danger. You're actually doing it like it's meant to be, like you're driving like it's meant to be driven. And you can feel it. You're playing this game the way it can be played. Yes. And when you play it at that level, it's usually at such a high level that people just want to watch you and wait for the next thing. They want to see what's the next outplay gonna look like, because that felt good. That felt like flying. I want to do that. I want to play like that. I want to feel like that. You can feel like that. You can practice anything you want. You can practice anything you want and you can feel like that.